Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here today to share with you a story time that happened to me. Um, my son goes to a church religious oriented preschool. Um, since the weather has not been good, they have been having us, instead of dropping off in the front of the school, they've been having us turn and go towards the back because there's a big awning back there, and it's supposed to be that we pull up 2 lanes so there's 4 cars underneath this awning so they can get the kids in and out as quick as possible because of the weather. And they've been doing that quite a bit for the last month or so. So one day when I went to go drop him off, I was getting ready to come around the corner so I could get like beside the car next to me, but he was kind of parked in a way that where I couldn't do that. So I just kind of pulled up a little bit next to him, but not totally next to him. And then they let us come forward, and we came forward, and he got his kids out of the car. I was getting my son out of the truck, and I heard him say, "Well, I don't want anybody running over my kid." And I thought, who's he talking about? What is he talking about? And so when the kids were let off and they told us that we could go, he cut me off. So I couldn't go anywhere. And he started screaming at me to have patience, to just to have patience. He kept saying that over and over and over again. And I thought, this guy doesn't understand the rules of the drop off this way, obviously. He doesn't get it. So I told him, I said, "Sir, this is a 2 lane drop off. This is how they do this. They have 4 cars underneath the awning so all the kids can get in as quick as possible." And he just got mad and pulled off. So I thought, okay, well, that's the end of it. And so I turned the corner to get back out towards the road, and he cut me off again. And he started screaming at me that I needed to have patience and that I better not be speeding in the parking lot, which I don't know what he's talking about because the parking lot area is like 9 miles per hour, and I always am going 9 or 10 miles per hour. And so I thought, I don't know what that's about with the speeding. And I said, "Sir, number one, I would never hit your child like you were saying earlier. And two, the way that they do this when the weather's bad, it's always a 2 lane drop off. It's always been a 2 lane drop off." And he gets his phone out and he starts recording me. And I thought, oh, here we go. He's recording me to see if I do something crazy or whatever. But what I really wanted to do was get out of my truck and grab his phone and smash it in a million pieces, was what I wanted to do, because I was so upset at this point because he wasn't just talking to me, he was screaming at me and being really aggressive. Now the much younger me would have done something a little bit more drastic, but we won't talk about that. But I thought, don't smash his phone, because you don't want to go to jail and have to call people for bail money. So I just finally pulled ahead of him and noticed that he was videotaping and taking pictures of my license plate, which really upset me because you can get a hold of somebody's information, where they live and all that kind of stuff, by somebody's license plate. Now you have to have a friend on the police department, but I don't know this guy and I don't know who he knows. And he also doesn't know who I know. But besides that, he kept recording me, and then we went in separate directions, and I was really upset about it because this was witnessed by everybody dropping their kid off at the school that day. So, number one, he was aggressive towards me, which is a no-no, because I don't believe in being aggressive towards people. That's not necessary. I grew up in an environment where violence was normal and fighting was normal, growing up in my environment, and in later relationships. physical altercations were common, so it triggered me when he's being aggressive. So I went back home and I was just trying to relax, trying to get it out of my system and just calm down. Well, part of the head of staff from the school called me and asked me what happened. So obviously somebody called about what happened. And I told her what had happened. I told her how upset I was. I told her how inappropriate he was and how aggressive he was and how that made me feel. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you." But that was about it. So I think maybe they might have called him and asked for his side of the story. But I would have really loved an apology for his attitude and for him being a jerk. Of course, that never happened because I just think that this is a church environment and they just weren't going to really further pursue it. So I just kind of let it go. My husband said, "Well, do you want me to go drop cash off in the morning and have a talk with this guy?" And I was like, "No, because he didn't even know the rules for drop off in bad weather." So I have a feeling that he's just a once in a while type dad that drops his kids off. Probably his partner, which I've seen her before, probably she does it a lot more often, which she does. So I just kind of let it go. And then last week it got super duper cold where I live, down in the single digits, and with wind chill it was actually in the negatives. And for some reason, like, I automatically thought they're gonna want us to go around back, so I headed around back, and there was other cars that were following me around back. And somebody came out and said, "No, we're not doing around back today, we're gonna go to the front," which I thought was odd because it was really cold. So I'll call him Mr. Tesla, was in front of me. I was right behind him, and he got his two kids out of the car and said, "Go stand over there on the sidewalk." So they just stood on the sidewalk, and he's grumbling and yelling, "You guys can't make up your mind whether you want us to drop off in the front or back, and I'm sick and tired of this." And I said, "I'm sick and tired of hearing you gripe and complain is what I'm tired of." And he didn't say anything. He got in his car, in his warm car, while he's making his kids stand out in the cold until the teacher can get to them, because the teacher takes all the kids in. I always get out of my truck with my son and stand there and hold his hand until somebody can come get him. That's what should happen. But he was so immature and so self-centered that he didn't want to stand out there in the cold with his kids. So when I handed my child off to a teacher, I had to walk beside him, and I just gave him the dirtiest look, but he wouldn't look at me. So I just thought, okay, this guy, it wasn't a personal thing towards me when that happened. This guy is just a jerk. He's jerked me. He's probably a jerk he is a jerk to his kids. He's probably a jerk to his partner. He's probably a jerk to whoever works with him or anybody that interacts with him, because he's just got a bad attitude. So it's almost like he still pisses me off, but it's like, you gotta feel sorry for somebody that's got such a bad outlook on life, that they are just so miserable that they have to try to make everybody around them miserable. So I just wondered from you guys, what do you think? Do you think I handled this situation correctly? Do you think the school handled the situation directly or correctly? I'm just wondering if you guys have any opinions or anything that you would have done different. So just let me know down in the comments below, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.